Friday morning, Sirius XM host Mark Packer joining us. Before we get to any sports, though, Pack, I got to tell you, man, I got to hand it to you. I was in Austin, Texas 2 weeks ago, and take a look at this right here. That was a meal, brother. You hooked me up with where to go.
Salt Lick.
The Salt Lick, man, was unbelievably good. The best brisket I've ever had.
Listen, Austin, Texas is one of the great cities in America.
Yeah.
Food's great, music's great, people's great. I'm glad that whole Salt Lake deal worked out.
It was great. You hooked me up. All right,
But speaking of food,
yeah, go ahead.
how about what we just experienced here the last 5 minutes?
Nice. Robert can do it.
He's a bad man, that dude. He knows what's going on.
All right, Duke is the winner. We know that. You know, Coach Ryan said, hey, we're not about rental players here, but the facts are that a bunch of players have left here this week. I mean, so take a look at it. You got Okafor took off, Winslow took off, Jones took off, Tracy has now taken off from State. So what's your thinking on that?
Hey, listen, I wish they would all stay. All right, as a college sports fan, I'd love to see those kids. But here's the deal. If it was your kid, all right, male, female, doesn't matter, and they have a passion to play sports,
right,
and somebody was willing to give them an opportunity to not only go after their dream, and we're going to pay you 7 figures, the answer is easy. You got to go.
You know, now, Anthony Bennett, a couple years ago did this, but most of these guys are already 20, aren't they? I mean, a lot of these kids are already going to be 20 when they enter the draft anyway. So Adam Silver's talking about maybe trying to change that a little bit, but isn't that really about control of those players, though, don't you think? It's not about the NCAA.
No, the NCAA has nothing to do with it. Really, the NBA Players Association controls the deal. If they want to make a move and change the rule from one and done, they can. It can't start with the NCAA or Mike Krzyzewski. They can put pressure all you want, but the NBA's got to start the process.
Not going to happen. All right, hey, let's talk a little bit about, my New York Yankees dead last. We knew that. I knew that was going to happen. But your team, the Giants, man, I didn't expect that at all. You guys win the championship last year, dead last. You got the Cubs in first place. You got the Rockies in first place. The Red Sox I expected. But, man, what's going on in baseball?
I noticed you left out the New York Mets.
Well, they're tied with the Braves, though.
They're in first place.
They're in first place by a half game.
Typical Yankee guy. Not going to give the Mets any love. I get it.
Right.
I know how you operate.
They show up every 15 years, and make a little bit of a run. But are you impressed with what the Braves are doing at all? I mean, do you expect that?
Now, we're 10 games into the season.
But you know what? Everybody says you can't win the championship now, but you sure as heck can lose it now by getting on a bad streak. They all matter.
It's 162 games.
Agreed. It's a long season.
Our guys stink. It's going to be okay.
I know that. I'm not planning on us going anywhere.
It's going to be all right.
But I'm very surprised, though, to see certain teams, the Cubs, and some of these teams are really starting to come into their own, looking good.
A lot of folks thought the Seattle Mariners are going to be a sleeper for the World Season. They're in last place,
in last place, too.
I will say this. My beloved Giants, 3-8.
Yeah.
It's the worst start of a defending World Series champion since Miami of 1998.
Wow.
All right, don't worry about it.
All right. Hey, real quick. I think it's a washout Sunday in Bristol. They'll race tomorrow.
Bristol, Connecticut, or
Bristol, Connecticut,
Tennessee?
according to Christine. But everybody that's running, the typical guys. JJ, Dale's looking good. Any idea who you think for Bristol?
I just hope that Britt McHenry's car is not being towed in Bristol.
I knew you were going to go there.
I think we should talk about that. I mean, this is all great about our teams in last place.
Right.
Can I say one thing about Britt McHenry? Every adult should have their kids watch that video because she absolutely represents everything you don't want your kids to do.
That's right. 28-year-old analyst, or sideline reporter for ESPN, really mouthing off, and it's just uncalled for. You just don't treat people like that.
Can I leave now? Because my car is illegally parked, and I do want to get some food, and I don't want to mess with the management here at BTV.
It's Mark Packer. You hear him on XM.